Good morning, Tinker Stars. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are doing good and getting ready for the holiday. I am enjoying some time off, getting a lot of things done. And thought I'd go live today. So you get me for a little bit. I didn't really have any training planned, but yesterday I was having a conversation with my husband, and I thought, you know what, I really got to share this with my team because it's stuff that I've kind of shared in the past, but as we get new teamies or sometimes we just kind of forget, it's very important to remember how powerful our mind is. So to give you guys a little bit of background, my husband's been just kind of figuring out what he wants to do. Like he's an automotive tech, but with injuries that he has sustained through the car accident he had about 5 years ago and stuff like that, like his back is just, it hurts, like it's so being an automotive tech, you're doing stuff with your back and your muscles all day long. So he's like, I'm not happy. I'm very uncomfortable. I'm in pain all the time. So I kind of want to figure out what to do with my life. But he's been an automotive tech for so long, and that's what he went to school for, that he's like, I don't even know what else I could do. So we've been pondering and thinking like, okay, well, can you stay in the automotive field, but like maybe be like a service advisor like that? I'll have to call her back. Hold on. Let me let her know. I'll call her back in a minute. Sorry. Give me a few minutes and I'll give you a call. It's not sending. Give me a few minutes and I'll give you a call. Okay. Okay. So going back to my story. So he's been putting in applications and, no callbacks, or if he gets a call, they ask him, would you be a tech? Or it's like a lot of, like it's a big money drop. Or like the last one they hired within house. So he's been very like frustrated, and we were talking about, he's just like, I don't know, like nobody sees me as anything but a tech. And I said, how many jobs have you applied for? And he's like, a bunch. And I said, what's a bunch? Like, oh no, he's like, quite a few. And I said, what's quite a few? Like, give me a number. He's like, about 5 or 6. And I said, well, that's funny. Data shows that to get to your yes, you have to get not at least 9 no's. Like on average, right? I've said this before. When we're working our business, we'll probably ask about 10 people to host a party before we get that yes. We'll ask 10 people to join before we get that yes. That is an average based on data that people have pulled together on how long it takes for people to get that yes, to that ultimate goal of getting that party or getting that new team member or getting that sale, right? So I kind of told him, I'm like, you're giving up too soon. And it kind of dawned on me that a lot of times in our journey, we give up too soon. I always think back on this little comic that I've seen, and you probably have seen it too, because I've seen it around social media and on the newspaper and stuff, of 2 men digging in a cave, and one of them is on his way out dragging the axe, like, I just can't do this anymore. And when you look at the cave, he was like probably 1 or 2 more axes away from the diamonds, away from getting the treasure. But he gave up. The work sometimes is hard. The work is heavy. It's discouraging. But if we're giving up, like, you're giving up. Like, you're never going to get to it, right? So sometimes we have to remind ourselves while we're on this journey, while we're working, that it takes time to get to those yeses. It takes time. It takes asking multiple people to book that party. It takes asking multiple people to join your team, and sometimes multiple times. Ashton, you guys know Ashton, one of my directors. I asked her about 3 or 4 times to join my team before she actually joined, and she was my first director. She joined, and when she joined, she was on fire and has never stopped. But it took me asking multiple times. I saw something in her that she didn't see herself at the moment when I was asking her. So, do not give up too soon on your goals. Your goals are important. Your goals matter, but your goals take work. Your goals are not just going to all of a sudden happen from one night to the next and fall in your lap. You're not going to click that join button and all of a sudden be a superstar director in a few months. It does take time. It takes work because this is a business. And I think that's what people don't realize is that they join Scentsy and they're like, oh, like I want to do this, I want to do that. And when they have to put that work in and they don't see an automatic result, it's like, oh, well, I'm not meant for this. I'm not going to do this. This is not worth it. But do you honestly think, and I'm looking at a Starbucks cup, so I'm going to say this. Do you think that Starbucks became a multi-billion-dollar company when they served their first coffee? No, like it took years for them to build. It took years for even Scentsy to build to where they're at today. They started out on a sheep farm. And today, if you go to Scentsy Commons, oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. It is huge. But he started out on a sheep farm, out of a trailer, with the owners that are now able to go off to a mission and leave other people in charge, pouring wax into molds and having to package it themselves. We as business owners have to put the sweat, tears, laughter, joy, everything into our business to get to our goal. So the first thing I want to make a point of is don't give up too soon on your goals. You might be just around the corner. You might be just over that peak when you're about to quit. So why not push a little bit more, right? Second thing is very important is to have a growth mindset. I feel like the world today, especially today, I can't talk much about previous generations, right? But especially today, and I think that we're getting better at it, but I think that I'm a millennial, coming from that generation, we've moved forward, and I think that Gen Z is really good at this, maybe a little too good sometimes, is having that growth mindset, that being able to believe and being able to be open to the opportunities that are given to us. I think sometimes we are kind of built to like think, oh no, I cannot do that. I cannot jump that high. I cannot achieve this. I'm going to get hurt. That's just not possible. Like the rejection there, people are going to think I'm crazy. And so we kind of put ourselves in this little bubble of a fixed mindset of I cannot do this because, and we give ourselves a million reasons why we can't do it, instead of giving ourselves a million reasons why we can. When we try to have a growth mindset, when we try to open up our thinking and say, okay, I'm not there yet. I'm not good at recruiting yet, but I can keep asking, or I can see how my sponsor is sponsoring. I can ask my upline what she says, how she offers the kit. I've never given a kit away yet, but I'm going to keep posting about it. You guys, I post about those host exclusive kits all the time. You probably have seen them. I don't have people snag them all the time, but I keep offering it because at one moment, one person that has been seeing it might just be ready. It might just be their time. And if I don't share it, then I'm taking that away from them without even knowing it, right? Because it's their time. They're ready. They're ready to take the leap if they just see that opportunity. So having that growth mindset is very important. That growth mindset allows us to learn. We don't know everything. Our brain is like a sponge. We can soak up so much knowledge if we're just open to the knowledge. If we are open to learning and not saying, well, I already know that. Oh, well, I already tried that. Well, I already did that and failed. You might have done it and failed, but do you think that a doctor was just thrown into a surgery and did it themselves the first time around? Probably not, right? That's why they go to school for so long and they get trained by so many different people, because they need to learn and get the tools that they need to be able to achieve. So if we allow ourselves to be a sponge and allow ourselves to not try to know it all, not try to take our past failures as experience as to why we can't try, then we would be able to continue to grow. When I first started my Scentsy journey, I was stuck at a lead consultant for 6 years. I wasn't training myself. I was not acting like I knew everything, because I didn't. I was looking for the help, and I was focused on where I wasn't getting it. My focus was kind of fixed on why I wasn't able to grow, why I wasn't able to learn all these things, because this problem exists. Instead of saying, well, this problem exists, let's find a solution to that problem. That's a growth mindset. That's what if I would have had a growth mindset, I probably would have been able to get out of that rut for a lot easier. And I don't mean that as in elite consultants in a rut, but I was there for 6 years and I was working my business. I was getting sales. I was doing parties here and there, but I was so focused on why I was not being trained or getting the tools that I needed that I wasn't even seeking other ways that I could have gotten the tools. It wasn't until someone told me, don't let that problem hold you back. There's a million other ways you can do this. Here's YouTube, team pages, follow other leaders, that I started looking for the tools in other places, and immediately my business started changing. I started sponsoring. I started promoting. I started getting group wholesale volumes. I remember now, still, when being a star consultant, it was hard for me to get the 2,500. And our team does well over 11,000 group wholesale volume now. But I struggled. I remember those days where 6,000 just seemed so out of reach, where 10,000 was like, oh my gosh, like that is so hard for me and my team to do. And now we knock it out of the park like it's no tomorrow. But if I would have gotten stuck on that fixed mindset of, I don't have the tools, instead of searching for ways to get those tools, I'd probably still be there. So allowing yourself to recognize what your fixed thinking is and how to change it to a growth mindset way of thinking is very important. Okay? And the last point I'm going to make is, sometimes we have to believe before we achieve. And I'm not talking about fake it till you make it, but affirmations. What is your goal? Think about that. What is my goal with Scentsy? I will tell you guys my goal. I have it written down because I was just doing a training program with Marlo, and she had us work on our goal. Okay. And so her training was a lot about the mindset, all that kind of stuff. I don't know why my planner's like not wanting to work with me this morning. But she talks about like the chaos that's in our mind, right? Especially us women, moms, like we have so much going through our minds. We have, stuff with the kids, stuff with the husband, stuff with work, stuff with life, stuff with Scentsy. Like we have all this stuff going in our brains constantly, right? So she was talking about the chaos, and she made us do like a chaos dump, right? Like just dump everything that is not allowing you to achieve what you want, right? And so I wrote down a bunch of stuff. I wrote down, like even my kids, because my kids keep me really busy, car issues, works, attitudes, tiredness, social media, messy house, all the stuff that was just like, what is keeping you from having clarity, right? And then we worked on, focus on 1 to 3. So I chose tiredness, social media, and messy house. So first of all, tiredness. Like, I can control how tired or alert I am. I could go to bed earlier. I can get more of a routine of when I go to bed, when I wake up, and how I start off my day, right? Social media, setting a timer. So we all are guilty of falling down that social media hole of I'm only going to look at Facebook for 5 minutes, and then half an hour later, you're still on social media. Hey, Madison. And then I had my messy house, right? Clean up and organize, declutter, get rid of stuff that we don't use, like focus on a specific project, right? So then she talked about having a chaos break. She's like, every day you should have a chaos break of at least 10 to 15 minutes. And she's like, if you can even shorten it, where it's, 1 to 5 minutes, depending on your schedule. But she's like, sit comfortably, breathe in and out, and let that be your focus. Like, you have to focus on letting that be your focus, right? And then if your mind starts to wander, it's the normal thing to do because we don't usually have a chaos break. You want to bring it back. Focus back to your breathing, right? And then think of something that brought you joy today, and while you're continuing to breathe in and out. So that's my chaos break, right? But she had us write down our why. And my why has changed over the years a lot. When I first joined Scentsy, I joined because I wanted a warmer in every house. And I didn't want to have to pay for it because I knew I couldn't afford it. And also to help me get out of my grief, because it was going to give me something to do while my husband was at work. But over the years, if that would have been my only why, if I would have just stuck to that, I would have said goodbye to Scentsy a long time ago. I have more than enough warmers in my house to be able to say I don't need another warmer in my life. Don't tell that to my husband, because I still tell him that I need specific warmers when they come out because I can't survive without them. And I have not overcome my grief, but I've been able to learn to live with it, right? But Scentsy became so much more after I attended my first world tour, and I realized I wanted to be a Scentsy lifer, meaning I wanted to do this for life because I wanted to achieve what I was hearing people share, which was financial freedom and time freedom. I wanted to be able to just stay at home with my kids and be able to afford to do things. And I was able to stay at home with my kids, and I chose to go back to work because of the fact that my kids were both at school already. I didn't have to pay for daycare, and we wanted to buy a house. So this is my why now. My why is to have more freedom. I want to be able to make enough money with Scentsy to allow Danny and I to just work Scentsy. The community also helps fill my cup socially. I'm accepted as I am, flaws and all. Scentsy has become a safe place for me. I'm able to be who I am, and not everyone accepts me. Not everyone loves me, but that's okay because I have a group that does. I have a group that does want to build friendships with me, that they do accept me as I am, that they understand that I'm not perfect, right? But Scentsy now has become the source that I want for my husband and I to both stay home. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't have part-time jobs, because I don't think I can visualize both of us just sitting at home all day. But I want to allow my husband the freedom to not have the pressure of being the breadwinner, right? So then I could sit here all day and come up with a lot of reasons why I'm never going to achieve this. I could, because that is what that fixed mindset is ready to do. And it's kind of, in a way, kind of trying to protect me from rejection and feeling like a failure and doing like all that negative feelings that come up, right? But if I take my why, my big dream, right, that right now it seems impossible, and I'd say, okay, what is one thing that I can do that will help me achieve my goal? And I put earning annual sales. I've never have earned annual sales. I've gotten close. I think the closest I got was $20,000. And if you don't know what earning annual sales means, annual sales means that you sell $30,000 within a year of the Scentsy calendar, meaning May 1st through April 30th. Okay. So I've never done that. I have never done that. But achieving that, earning that, moves me closer towards my goal. Because meaning if I am selling $30,000 a year, well, I'm selling more Scentsy than I've ever sold before, right? Which means more income. But it also allows me to meet more people, right? Because right now with my customer base, I'm not selling $30,000. So that means I need to get more customers. So it allows me to meet more people, which in turn means more opportunities for me to share the opportunity of Scentsy and build more teammates, right? it gets me closer to that goal. So then I took that goal and I said, okay, well, how close am I to earning this year? Y'all, I'm not close at all. I still have to sell like $23,000, but it's not impossible. And let me tell you why it's not impossible. Because I've had friends that have already earned it already for this year. Started in May, we're in November, and they've already crushed it. So why would I not be able to do it between now and April? When you're sitting there and telling yourself, I can't do this, I can't achieve that, it's just impossible. Look around and see who is doing it and ask yourself, why her and not me? Are you not worth it? Are you not enough? Because I think you are. I know Heavenly Father thinks you are. I know people around you look at you and think, oh my gosh, she is so amazing. I can never be her. And you're over here doubting yourself because you're looking at somebody else. Keep your focus. Keep the growth mindset. Push that fixed mindset aside. Tell that fixed mindset, not today. You're not going to tell me, you're not going to limit me today. I am limitless. I have no limits. I can achieve what I go for, what I work for. That's the key word though, work for. You can sit here and daydream all day and put all these great big goals on your dream board. But if you don't work towards those goals, they're just going to stay on your dream board. For so long, we were saying we wanted financial freedom, until I did not sit down and develop a plan to start paying things off, to work on, okay, how am I going to get rid of this payment? Y'all, I paid my husband's car off in 3 years early by sending an extra little bit every month, okay? It's doable. Now he crashed it. We got to get into another car payment soon, but we did it. When we got his car, it was a 5-year or a 6-year payment plan at like $300 and whatever. And I was like, well, we're going to send it an extra like $10 a month and we're going to pay it off early. Me paying it off early, I thought it was going to be like a year or two early. When we freaking got down to like the haywire and we're like, we're going to be able to pay this car off 3 years early, it was so exciting that it motivated us to do more. And I was able to pay off like 3 credit cards. Now we're working on the bigger credit cards. We're working on my car. I send extra payments to my car because we want to buy a house. So we want to be able to generate more income so we can put more in savings, put more into paying things off. And that has motivated us to get that stuff done. But it wasn't until I set a plan in motion that I was able to achieve that. You have to set a plan in motion and realize that you can do this. You can do the hard stuff. You just have to get up and do it. And sometimes it's hard. I'm working from my room today because I can't concentrate in the living room. My kids are watching TV and then I'm just like scrolling through Facebook. And I said, you know what? I got a lot of work to do. I'm going to go to my room. Because in my room, I have no TV. I have no distractions. And so I brought my laptop in here, brought my planner, brought some extra pieces of paper. I already planned out all of the training for next year. Booyah. Hopefully I can keep up with it. And I started setting up goals and I worked on the plan for Monday's launch. So like I'm already like, know that tomorrow I have to take a picture with my family and send it to all my customers wishing them a happy Thanksgiving. That has nothing to do with sales, but it connects me with my customers. Okay. And then on Saturday, I'm going to send a project broadcast message to all of my customers about what's coming up on Monday. Hello. Frozen. We all know a little girl out there that loves Frozen. And then who does not like to save money when they're buying Scentsy with the Cyber Monday sale? So I'm getting up and doing the hard stuff because my business is not going to work itself. It's not going to work itself. Superstar directors still have to work their business. They just don't have to work as hard as when they started it. It's just like a CEO. They still work their business. They still have to have meetings and reports and all that stuff. They just don't work as hard as when they had to run the store or freaking make the coffee because they didn't have no one to do it. Okay? So don't give up on your goals. Giving up on your goal, you're already not going to achieve it. So why not keep trying to get there, right? Change that mindset to a growth mindset. Remind yourself that you don't know everything. You are a sponge. And you have things to give. Don't think that because you don't know everything that you don't have things to give. I cannot preach this enough. You have stuff that you can share. You have things that you are creating for your business, that you are doing for your business that's working for you. Share it with others, because you are also an inspiration to others. Don't think that because of your title or because you're newer than someone, because you haven't been doing this for as long as so-and-so, that you cannot achieve. It took me, 7 years, I think it was, 8 years to get to director. Ashton did it in a year and a half. She took the tools that she was given and she used them. Okay? That doesn't make her that doesn't make me any less important because it took me longer. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, she just because she started and did it faster doesn't mean that I didn't have anything to share. I had tons of things to share. And then because she was newer doesn't mean that she doesn't have stuff to share. She had tons of things to share. We all run our business differently. We all come from different backgrounds. So we all have something to share and to give. And lastly, believe it before you can achieve it. Start those positive affirmations. If you have to draw it on your wall, on your bathroom mirror, my bathroom mirror always has stuff written all over it. Okay? Write it. Say it while you're brushing your teeth. Say it while you're in the car. Put sticky notes if you have to remind yourself of your worth. Believe it before you can achieve it. Put those goals as if you already did. Say to yourself, I am an annual sales earner. I am a great sponsor. I'm a great recruiter. I am a great top PRV monthly earner. I am a $2,000 check earner. Whatever your goal is, write it as if you've already achieved it. And say it to yourself over and over and over. The power of the mind is incredible. But you have to put it into work. You have to use the power of the mind. It's like an exercise. So, don't forget, I love you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.